and ultimately really understand that you and yourself are best friends. And this is a bond that nobody can break. Welcome back to the channel. This is the second episode about how to get over heartbreak. I dedicate this episode to those who are similar like me, that when you experience very strong emotions to the point that you cannot bear anymore to even have the unalive thoughts. And here I want to share how, when I look back, how I overcome it and what I could have done differently to help myself. So, a little bit of background. I have experienced heartbreaks in the past, and every time it's very devastating. Sometimes, even though I know it's coming, but my reaction is so strong that I could not function at all. If I'm a student, I wouldn't able to go to the class to study, no nothing. I wouldn't eat either, and it's just completely paralyzed. And as an adult, young adult, I would not be able to focus at my job. And then so it heavily influence your ability to basically take care of yourself. And that is why it becomes like a vicious circle that I do not want to easily get into a relationship because the consequences is too big for me to handle. But in the end, I managed, but at the cost of like I lost a job here and there, and I'm completely lost with my life and so on. Multiple times I even need to go to the hospital. So, speaking from personal experience, I want to share a little bit of practical tips for those folks who are similar like me and struggling. And at least I want to tell you that you are not being dramatic. You know, everyone is different. And there's certain reason why we react so strongly like that, because it's something not only about ourselves, but it's like how we care about something so much. Okay. But don't worry, I'm gonna help you to see things from a different perspective. So this time, you're not gonna be alone. So, first of all, you need to learn how to connect to your body. For people who are super emotional and sometimes borderline lacking self control, it's because it's so strong. If you understand, it's like by the time you realize it, you're already exploding. The emotions are exploding. Your heart is like aching and you're already like screaming, shouting, breaking down. Okay. I have experienced all this. I also sometimes experience it in the way that I literally cannot think, but can only release during that time. And ultimately, you definitely would want to see therapist because a therapist will help you work through how to control yourself. You need to let them know what you're struggling with. And then first, they probably will teach you how to do the CBT. This exercise helps you to observe a physical condition before it explodes, basically. For example, are your shoulder tense up right now? Is your chest very tight right now? Are you having a very shallow breathing? So if you realize this is how you're feeling, it's time to just stop everything that you do, what you're thinking, what you're saying, to just take a deep breath. You just take a deep, slow breath. And you can tell yourself that there's no emergency right now. You are with yourself and you love yourself. This is a difficult part because sometimes we don't feel like we truly love ourselves, or we think we do. But the decisions or the thoughts that we're having are the opposite of loving ourselves. So you need to understand that you, like your body and your mind, they gotta be good friends together. And there are times that maybe they were disconnected. But now is the time to connect them together. So that brings me to the next experience that I want to share is to discover self-love. It's the beginning of discovering real self-love. It's beyond about just like, I'm going to treat myself better. It's about what kind of actions and thoughts you allow yourself to have. When you are feeling you're completely abandoned, it is because the breakup reveals certain emotional wounds that you have in the past. And it's okay that the wounds come up again and you feel it so vividly. However, you need to know that this is in the past. You acknowledge the hurt that you're experiencing and you love yourself. My trick is that treat yourself as another identity. I don't directly say it's my inner child, but I would constantly comfort myself. Just try to even put your hands on your chest, be like, I'm here for you, and you can be safe with me. You are safe with me. I love you and I take care of you. And that is such a powerful say. You have to say it out loud. Don't be shy. Just say it out loud and experience yourself. Because that's what you needed. You want it from somebody else. They couldn't give it to you. You chase after, subconsciously you chase after others to give you this feeling. But I'm telling you right now, the heartbreak is the beginning of understanding that you can give it to yourself. You can totally give it to yourself. And by the time that you're able to practice this, you start to have way higher bar when it comes to choosing who you're gonna give your hearts to. You're not gonna completely close off. You're not gonna be avoidant. You're not gonna influenced by all these bad experiences that you have. But you're gonna learn to be the one that loves yourself the most. So much that somebody else has to outdo you to get a little piece of heart of yours. Be proud of yourself that you have this magical power to love somebody else. You know you do because we feel so much, so you're able to do the same for others. There's not a doubt. But for yourself, it's another story. Because, answer this question. If you feel like you love the other person so much that, I don't know, you could even die for the other person, or you give up everything that you can, you do everything to make them happy, you love them so much. Can you do that to yourself? Are you able to do it to yourself? Because you have to be able to do it to yourself to truly able to do it to somebody else. I repeat, until you truly understand how to love yourself, then you'll be able to truly love the other person. That's what I believe in, because it's just the thoughts that you have, because in reality, we have a lot of limitations. The other person have their own lessons for themselves. And for people who I believe that I'm dedicating this episode to, is that you haven't truly understand what does it mean to truly love yourself in a healthy way. Not in a shut off ways that I'm going to protect myself. I'm never gonna date again, and I hate old people. Not that kind of toughness. Sometimes we have moments like that. Very normal. I had that too. But ultimately, you'll be able to love again, and you'll be really strong, and you'll be more mature. And this is essential to maintain a healthy relationship as well. Because mind you, the moment you actually find a partner that, let's say, is more compatible, and then the next question is how are you going to maintain it? And this is going to be very important. You need to have certain emotional maturity and stability to be able to do that. So this is just a beginning of learning this. And ultimately, you'll be the one to benefit from it. So don't worry about, oh, we break up because that person did this, I said that, he did that. Don't worry too much about those things because it's a story. It's a story in the past. We learn from it. But ultimately, how are you going to treat yourself? How are you going to carry yourself? How are you going to present yourself? Carry yourself in the relationship. The next relationship is more important. So right now, treat this as a beginning of learning how to love. And start with yourself. And this week, I hope you can practice this when you go for a walk, when you have something nice. Tap into your body and feel how relaxed you are. Sometimes there's sadness coming up. Note them down. See what kind of fear that you have. And ultimately, really understand that you and yourself are best friends. And this is a bond that nobody can break. You can only strengthen it. You and yourself are best friends. Okay? And that is a very good indicator to show that if you actually evolved. In my opinion, is the time when you realize that you don't mind to be alone anymore. It is great if you can find someone that loves you and you love them. But you are also completely fine to be alone. You have perfected the ideal of love, which is, if it comes, great. If not, you are also full of love because you are able to love yourself. You're able to understand that a relationship is only part of your life. And there are many other than romantic relationships. You have friendships, you have family, you have friends. And I know most of the people who struggle is because they don't have a solid relationships outside of romantic relationships, let's say. And that is also a sign for you to work towards this. During this time is the best moment to show some love to your friends. The moment when you really need so much love is actually the moment when you learn how to show love, not only to yourself, but to people around you. And I guarantee you that when you practice that more, you'll be able to receive more. You will suddenly realize that you are always surrounded by love. I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Ciao.